Dog puppy trapped in a plastic bottle, but his brother refused to leave him. It was a peaceful afternoon in a quiet backyard. The sun beamed down warmly, casting long shadows across the grass. Two puppies, full of energy and curiosity, played together in the soft meadow. Their tails wagged in unison as they bounded around, their laughter echoing in the air, pure and innocent. One of the puppies was bold, always the first to venture into unknown territory. His eyes sparkled with mischief, and every new object he encountered became a toy for him to conquer. The other puppy, a little more cautious, followed closely behind, staying near his brother but always a step or two behind. He trusted the first puppy completely, knowing that wherever he went, he would be safe. The bond between these two was unbreakable. They had been together since the very beginning, and no matter what, they always had each other's backs. Life was simple, and everything felt right in that moment. It all started with a plastic bottle. The sun had begun to dip lower in the sky, casting a golden hue over the backyard as the puppies continued to play. The bolder of the two spotted something shiny on the ground, a discarded plastic bottle. His eyes lit up with excitement. To him, it wasn't just a bottle. It was a new toy to explore, a challenge to conquer. Without hesitation, the brave little puppy rushed over to investigate, sniffing the bottle curiously. His paws tapped against the sides, and he began nudging it with his nose, trying to figure out what it was. But as he pushed it, his small paw accidentally slipped through the narrow opening of the bottle. The moment it happened, his heart skipped. A beat. He couldn't pull it out. Panic surged through his tiny body. His little head jerked back, trying to escape, but the plastic bottle tightened around his neck. It wouldn't budge. The more he struggled, the more trapped he became. His breathing became shallow, his movements frantic. He yelped in distress, his voice cracking in the still air, hoping his brother would hear him. And then, from across the yard, he saw him, the second puppy, running towards him with wide eyes, hearing his cries for help. The second puppy arrived in a flash, his ears standing upright as he heard his brother's desperate cries. He stopped dead in his tracks, eyes wide with worry. His brother was stuck, and something was terribly wrong. He barked loudly, but there was no response, only his brother's muffled yelps from inside the bottle. Without hesitation, the puppy darted toward his brother, his small paws pounding the earth beneath him. His heart raced as he got closer, seeing the fear in his brother's eyes. The bottle was tied around the tiny puppy's neck, and he struggled against it in vain. The second puppy's tail stiffened with concern. He wasn't about to let his brother suffer alone. He nudged the bottle with his nose, trying to dislodge it. It didn't move. He pawed at it, harder this time, trying everything he could think of. His tiny claws scraped against the hard plastic, but nothing worked. A low whine escaped his throat. He wasn't giving up, not now. He barked again, louder, as if calling for help, but there was no one around. It was just him and his brother, and he couldn't stand to see his best friend in pain. The determination in his eyes burned brighter. He wasn't going to leave him, not ever. Minutes felt like hours as the second puppy tirelessly worked to free his brother. He pushed and shoved the bottle with all his might, his small body trembling with effort. Each time he tried, the bottle barely shifted. His brother's cries grew weaker, his tiny paws scraping against the plastic, but there was still no escape. The second puppy's heart pounded as he continued to push, his body racked with anxiety. This was more than just a toy. It was a race against time. He growled in frustration, pacing back and forth, his eyes never leaving his brother's face. Every attempt seemed to fall short. Desperation set in, but the little puppy wasn't ready to give up. He wasn't just his brother's playmate. He was his protector, his best friend. There was no way he could walk away and leave him like this. The sun hung lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the yard, and the air began to cool. But inside the plastic bottle, the trapped puppy's breathing grew more frantic. His struggles slowed, his body slumping in exhaustion. His brother continued to paw at the bottle, each movement a frantic plea for help. He let out a series of desperate barks, hoping someone, anyone, would come to their aid. But there was no one else. It was just him, his brother, and the unyielding bottle. Time was running out. Just as the second puppy was about to collapse from exhaustion, something shifted. His paws, slick with sweat, scraped at the bottle once more. He pushed with all the strength he had left, his tiny body trembling with determination. And then, in a quiet moment, the bottle wobbled. It moved, just a little. His heart leaped in his chest. With renewed hope, the second puppy growled softly, his eyes narrowing in focus. He wasn't going to stop now. He nudged the bottle again, this time with all his might. It tipped slightly, rolling to its side. The trapped puppy's eyes fluttered with what little strength he had left, his tiny body still locked inside the plastic. But something had changed. The bottle wasn't as tight as before. The second puppy barked, louder this time, his excitement bubbling through the air. His brother's body shifted, trying to wriggle free. The bottle gave way, a small gap opening up. The trapped puppy gasped for air, his body quivering with relief. A quiet whimper escaped him, and for the first time in what felt like forever, he could breathe freely. The second puppy nuzzled him gently, his tail wagging furiously. They were free, together, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a soft orange glow across the backyard. The two puppies sat together, side by side. They were tired, their little bodies exhausted from the struggle, but neither of them seemed to care. They were safe now, and that was all that mattered. The bold puppy, the one who had been trapped, rested his head on his brother's shoulder, still recovering from the ordeal. The second puppy, who had refused to leave, sat protectively beside him, his eyes watchful, never straying far from his brother. They sat in silence, but it wasn't a sad silence. It was one of comfort, of peace. They didn't need to speak. The bond they shared was stronger than words. They had been through something together, something that had tested their strength and their loyalty. And now, as the stars began to appear in the sky, they knew they were invincible as long as they had each other. The ordeal had been a reminder that sometimes the greatest strength lies in sticking together, in refusing to leave someone behind, no matter how tough the situation. Their connection wasn't just about playing together, it was about being there for each other when it mattered most. They had proven that love and loyalty could conquer even the most terrifying of moments.